My name is Jeffrey Burk, and I'm Assistant Professor of Psychiatry and Psychology at the University of Pittsburgh.
Tell me about Parkway.
So, one of the remarkable things thinking back about it was how much I took for granted, really. Things like going to Six Flags with my first grade teacher, or in ninth grade, Mrs. Lewis came to the premiere of Star Trek IV, I think it was, with a group of probably 4 or 5 of my friends and I. And at the time, developing those kind of relationships with my teachers seemed kind of normal, kind of typical, but it really, I don't think it is. At least it hasn't been my experience with other children and with my own children and their teachers. So that's kind of a neat thing, thinking back on the relationships that we developed. And more broadly, at the time I also knew things like in Mr. Morrison's class when we were creating 3D images with lasers. I knew that was special relative to kids who were going to other schools. Really, we were provided with so many opportunities to explore and experience so many different things. So that was my experience with Parkway, was just how special and really privileged we were in a lot of ways.
What does this night mean to you?
Well, it's certainly I'm humbled and I'm grateful, and it's sort of helped me to organize the way I explain what I do, which is it's not easy to put in a nutshell, but so I'm very appreciative.
I always think that's interesting. Like, you're humbled that your public school district would honor you. You've had like so many other honors in your life. Why is this one any big deal?
I guess the school district you go to is part of growing up and being a child, and so for me anyways, maybe I'm being too general with this, it's connecting back to all the things I went through growing up and sort of tying it into the things I've been able to achieve. Maybe in a way I hadn't put together the foundation that I'd gotten from Parkway. So maybe it draws things into a much more coherent story for me.
What advice would you give to kids who may be in the Parkway School District right now, who want to go into the field that you're in?
So research in psychiatry and psychology, it's tough, but I guess my advice would be if you have an interest in that, certainly pursue it. And take advantage of all of the skills that Parkway provides you with. So what I do, it involves teaching, it involves research, it involves math, statistics, science, and writing. Science writing is a different kind of writing, so you have to think about things in a different way, but still with enough creativity to tell a story. So there's a narrative embedded within science writing that is kind of a trick to pull off, in a lot of ways. So if you want to go in that direction, I would suggest to students do so, but make sure you're preparing in all these different spheres.
I feel like you're saying, when we were kids, we were like, oh my gosh, if we were into math, we'd never use the English, right? Like, we don't care about it. And I feel like those kids who are in English, oh my gosh, we'd never use the math. I feel like you're saying, oh my gosh, I use everything.
Exactly. Very much so. I think it's, I suspect it's probably more true in more disciplines than I'm appreciating right now. But the idea that you can just toss something aside because you've moved on, I think it's probably an illusion for many fields. It's definitely true for the work that I do. I have to draw upon all of that stuff.
What's it been like coming back?
It's been neat. It's been a lot of fun. In a lot of ways, because of this night and the questions that you sort of asked me before, trying to think back on everything and all the memories that have flooded back and that I haven't thought about in years have been really special. And then all the areas where I don't remember as much as I think I should. That's kind of remarkable in itself. But so, and then when you come back to St. Louis, there's a lot that's the same, but so much is changing too. The roads are all, double or triple the size that they were when I was a child, and there just seems to be so much more going on, and so much that's been developed since I left. So it's been neat to see all of that stuff too.
Well, and it's neat because when you talk about your experience with Parkway and the teachers, your eyes light up. Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. That's a great question. I guess, as I said before, a lot of the memories that are coming back to me have been ones that I haven't sort of thought about in a while. And so, it's simple things, think as simple as Sorrento, going into Sorrento Springs. And I was looking at the web, the history of Sorrento, and it was so new at the time I went there, but when I went there, it was just the school I went to. And, I took it for granted. But to think about all that they were doing, like right out of the box, it's surprising. But just to go back to answer your question, even thinking about things as silly as the way it's structured with these steps going up and then the steps going down, and it seems like you're walking up into onto a big stage, so all those things. And thinking about the friends that I had and that I made all along the way.
Where do you think you'd be if you didn't go to Parkway?
Well, if I hadn't had all of the opportunities that Parkway provided, it probably would have been more of a struggle. I hope that I would have been able to draw upon inner resources, but you never know. So I don't know.
Anything else you want folks to know about your experience or your thoughts or anything?
I guess, living in St. Louis and growing up here, I remember there was a lot of times where we would sort of look at Chicago or look at other places and think, well, they've got stuff going on there. We don't have anything going on here. There's nothing special about it. And really just to appreciate the things that are here and take advantage of the opportunities. That would be my suggestion to people.